It is 9 o'clock. It is the 15th day of January. I am your grumpy guide to the all things gaming. Go play, baby. The OGGM, and obviously I need more caffeine. Support me, Red Bull. I need a sponsor, and I will sell out. There's the weird fuzz again. Looks like the ghost is back. Okay, so we could talk about this Genie D's D&D tag thing, but I'm saving that for tomorrow because I want to give it at least 24 more hours before I address it. Instead, let's address the other big news in geekdom going on today. Well, actually, there's two. Both of them revolve around the same company, Disney. Now, normally, I only address D&D and role-playing game-related stuff, but this is big geek news. And of course, the first big geek news is Wandavision is now up on Disney+. So if you're ready for the beginning of the next phase of the MCU, put on your seatbelts, because it's going to be an amazing, bizarre, weird show. I'm saving it for tonight. I have no idea what to expect other than to just have my mind blown and have to watch it like 2 or 3 times. It's going to be great. So WandaVision is tight. Of course, if you don't have Disney Plus, you don't get to see it. So hopefully you know somebody who has Disney Plus, or you're willing to bend the rules and maybe get it from Solar Movie or 123 Movies or something, because I think it's going to be worth watching. Yeah, that'll probably also be on Hulu eventually in like a year, since they're all owned by the same thing. So the other big Disney news, of course, is Disney announced today, fuck you, annual pass holders. We are canceling the annual passes for Disneyland. I assume this will eventually also be for Disney World, but Disneyland feels it's losing money off of the annual pass holders because their math is that should we ever open again, possibly this summer, possibly next fall, possibly never, Disneyland California figures that, well, you know, if we're charging $160 per person who walks through the door for park hopping, plus all the money we're going to make off of them buying food and merch, and, you know, if they stay in a hotel, that's more money, you know, as opposed to the money we make off of annual pass holders, which, you know, other than that $1,000, $2,000 a year one-time thing, annual pass holders actually, you know, get tons of discounts, get tons of special things, get invited to lots of special stuff, get tons of free things that they feel they're actually moving. So this morning they decided just zip, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to do it. We are canceling Disneyland, Disneyland California annual pass holder. So if you were an annual pass holder, your annual pass for Disneyland has been canceled. Of course, what's the point? Because Disneyland is closed. But still, as a former annual pass holder, I had an annual pass for a couple years when I lived down south. When I moved up here into Ventura, it didn't seem, you know, like, why renew my annual pass? I'm going to maybe go to Disneyland once a year since I moved up here. And I don't, you know, it's not a big Disney fan base. But when I lived down south, I was an annual pass holder. I went like almost every other weekend. It was definitely worth the $1,000 or whatever it was to cost me back then, just to be able to go in, you know, make the hour drive, go into Disneyland whenever I wanted with my friends or by myself or with the person I was dating at the time. It's well worth it. And if, you know, you're not going to spend as much money inside because you get discounts. The discounts annual pass holders get because of the annual pass means that they will actually spend more money because they think they're saving money because they get a discount. So if I get 2-for-1 churros, well, of course I'm going to buy 2-for-1 churros because my annual pass lets me get 2-for-1 churros. But I'm still buying a churro, and I'm going to buy more because if I think I'm getting a discount, I will buy more stuff. So is this a good idea? From a financial point of view, of course it's a good idea. Disney is losing money hand over foot. Well, not really. But Disneyland California, you know, supports many things besides Disney. It supports hotels. It supports large chunks of Anaheim. I mean, it's a huge moneymaker, and they're losing money hand over foot every day that Disneyland California is closed. So why, you know, keep these annual passes active if the annual pass holders aren't coming in? Instead, they're spending money to go across the country to go to Disney World, and Disneyland is losing money. So fuck you, annual pass holders. We're just going to cancel them. We're not going to slow. And I can understand that. I can understand that from a Disney corporation point of view. Yeah, on paper, it makes sense. But if you're an annual pass holder, like I was, like there still are annual pass holders, this is a slap in the face because they're just ripping the Band-Aid off. They're not like a slow, gradual, like, you know, today we're announcing it, that annual passes are going to be discontinued, trickle down X months from now. So if you bought your annual pass a week ago, hoping that Disney would open it for the summer, and now you're being told, hey, that $1,000 you just spent, screw you. Plus, no refunds. We're not refunding the money. At least that's what they announced. I mean, they're probably going to have to refund at least some of the money because that's just going to cause too much arguments. And we know that if and when Disney reopens, they will offer something similar to annual passes. Probably not exactly like annual passes, because even though the annual pass price has gone up every year, they still think they're losing money because that one-time $1,000 payment in their mind doesn't equal, you know, getting $160 every time Adam the Woo walks through the gates from Adam the Woo. Of course, Adam the Woo is going to be like, well, you know, and regular Disney visitors like Adam the Woo, Justin Scard, My Best Life, those guys, people who go to Disneyland every week, because of the annual pass, are going to be less likely to go to Disneyland because, well, I spend $160 every time I walk through the gate to see something I've already seen 100 times. The gift of the annual pass was I could just walk in and spend 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, you know, wander around, people watch, maybe buy a churro or a burger or a pizza like, you know, Justin does or whatever, and then leave. But now if I've got to spend $160, that's way different than a one-time $1,000 payment. It's not worth it to me. It's worth it to Disney, but it's not worth it to me. And the fact that if I was an annual pass holder and I was told that my annual pass was getting canceled and I wasn't going to be offered anything in return, that hurts. And then I'm probably not going to get a refund. I think eventually they're going to get a refund of some course. Yeah, that hurts. Can we expect that when and if Disneyland California reopens, there will be something similar to an annual pass? Of course there will. Of course. It'd be foolish not to them because it's still a money-making machine. Because, like I just said, as an annual pass holder, sure, I get through the gates or both parks for free, but I still have to pay for parking. I'm still probably going to stay in the hotel, you know, to get those magic moments. I'm still going to pay for food. And because I have a discount on whatever this week, you know, burgers or pizza, or you get a discount in the store, or I don't know, pickles. I remember I got some kind of discount for stuff in the park, coupons or something. I'm more likely to spend money because I think I have a discount. And if I'm going to be there all day, I'm going to eat. I'm going to buy a pin. I mean, pin trading alone is hand over foot, just money. So, of course, there will be something else. Should Disneyland ever open again? God help us if it doesn't. I mean, what do you do with that? You can't not reopen it. You got to do something with it. I mean, the money alone they'd make going through the refurbishment after being closed almost a year, you know, that's thousands of jobs because they'd have to recheck everything for safety and blah, 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 blah. They still have to feed the cats. So, yeah. They're going to spend a lot of money, but they're going to make a lot of money. Disneyland has to reopen at some point. There's a lot of wasted space otherwise. So, yeah. That is the big geek news. Disneyland canceling the annual pass for California. I assume I know that they're doing a lot of things in Disney World, Florida, like shutting down Magic Moments, shutting down late hours, shutting down the bus because, you know, they think they're losing money. And they are losing money for COVID, but really, is Disneyland hurting? Is Disney hurting for money? oh no, we only made $3.6 billion this year as opposed to the $3.8 billion we made last year. I guess we better shut down the bus and cancel annual passes. Florida annual passes, they'll probably do the same thing or something similar. But the ripping off the Band-Aid, just the sudden, fuck you, we're canceling the annual pass is probably the wrong way to do it. Some kind of trickle down. Like, yes, we're going to cancel these because they're pointless, but in return we'll offer you coupons, discounts, free access to the video game, you know, some year-old Disney stuff that's sitting in the warehouse collecting dust. We'll send it to you for free, because it's actually less expensive for us to give it to you than it is for us to store it in the warehouse. There could have been a lot of things to trickle down to make the Disney pass holders feel like, okay, I understand you're canceling it because you're losing money hand over foot, but at least we're getting some reward for our loyalty instead of being told, fuck you, we're canceling it and we're not refunding your money. Because we're Disney, happiest place on earth. So that's the big geek news. Of course, the other big geek news is this Genie D D&D tag thing. Oh, I'm Genie D, and I came up with this original idea. Nothing original about this. But we'll talk about that tomorrow on our Grump of the Week. So, I'm sorry to all my annual pass holder friends and family out there across the world as a Disney fan. On the other hand, I'm very excited about Wandavision tonight. So, yeah, let's, whatever. Until next time, I'm your grumpy guide to all things gaming. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 300 subs by March and 500 subs by August 4th, and I will do something crazy. Until then, support me, Red Bull, and I will talk to you later.